What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm excited because I'm bringing you guys the brand new Gate Guardian deck profile. It's going to be a pure build of the deck, and this deck got its most recent support in Maze of Memories, which is absolutely insane. I think Konami did a really good job with this deck. Now if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh content just like this one. We upload 5 days a week here on the channel, but we do a full 10 videos per week, 5 long videos, 5 short videos, so you guys are gonna get a little bit of everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and with that, let's get right into the deck profile. So here it is, the Gate Guardians combined. I'm really excited to be getting into today's deck profile. I do want to say with this deck though, that I'm going to be showing off a pure list of Gate Guardian in today's video. I feel like there are going to be a lot of different variations for this deck, but this build that I'm going to be showing off today is going to be a pure build, alright? So let's get things started. We are playing 1 Sanga, 2 Suijin, as well as 2 Kazijin. Now the reason we're playing these ratios is because the Suijin and the Kazijin are technically better in some senses, because the Wind and Water Fusion monster is probably one of the best monsters that this deck puts up. It's a spell and trap negate, and you can do it twice per turn, which is absolutely insane. So that's why we're playing 2 of the Kazijin as well as 2 as a Suijin. Sanga is really cool because you can make the Gate Guardians combined, which is why you're playing the 1. But the fusion monsters for Sanga are not as powerful as the Wind and the Water. So that's why we're only playing the 1 Sanga. And yes, these are the bricks in your deck. However, they are all level 7, which means you can use them for something like a Sacred Sword to get some more draw power, right? So even if you draw them, it's not like the best, but it's also not the worst. So that's why we're playing these 5. Then of course we're playing 3 Labyrinth Wall Shadow. This card is absolutely insane. So monsters cannot attack the turn they're summoned except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher. Now you can imagine how powerful that is against decks that really want to go into their extra deck. Decks like Trap Trick, which wants to go into their Link monsters or their Ixies monsters, they can't attack when they set up those kind of cards. And a lot of Ixies focused decks want to make Zeus, but you can't make Zeus under this card as well because you can't attack with your Ixies monsters. So this card is obviously really powerful in that sense. Also during the main phase, you can place a Sanga, Kazijin, or Suijin that is banished from your hand or from your deck into your spell and trap card zone. And keep in mind, this effect is not once per turn. So if you open 2 Wall Shadows and you activate the first one, you can use this effect. Then you can activate a second one and use this effects again. So that's why it's so powerful. This card is absolutely insane. You have to be maxing out on this. And then lastly, at the start of your battle phase, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack and destroy it. That might not sound very good, but the reason it is really good is because one of these cards, I believe it's this one right over here. No, it's this one, the Wind, Water, and Thunder. It makes your opponent's attack 0, and so if you have this on the field, then you can just essentially pop a card your opponent controls during the battle phase, which is really nice. So you definitely need to be playing 3 of this card. Now one thing I will say, one thing I thought Konami did that was really cool was that it's a Wall Shadow, and it's kind of like in the anime how it comes out and attacks an opponent's monster, and then the Shadow Ghoul has 1600 attack. So that's why they did it, where if your opponent has less than 1600 attack, boom, pop a card. I just thought it was really cool. But yeah, we're playing 3 of this, of course, 1 Terraforming, and then 1 Riryoku. This card honestly isn't like amazing. It's not like the greatest card. However, the reason we're playing the 1 is it is kind of gimmicky in the sense of just having your opponent's life points, and that can help you sometimes go for game. But also it's really nice because it's kind of like your OTK button later on in the game. So that's why I like playing the 1 Riryoku Guardian. And then we're playing 3 double attack Wind and Thunder. This card is absolutely insane. If you control a Gate Guardian monster, you can target 1 card in the field and just destroy it. So that's why this card is really good. And then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then add a Sanga, Kazijin, or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. And that's really cool because it's going to be able to replenish these 3 monsters from your banished zone, which is really important because you're going to be banishing them to summon your Gate Guardians combined. You're going to be banishing to summon your other fusions. You're going to be banishing them for the Sacred Swords. So that's the thing. A lot of the time these cards are going to be banished, and being able to put them back in your hand or on your field is very important. So that's why we're playing 3 of the double attack. Then we're playing 3 Shadow Ghoul, of course. These are pretty much terraformings for your Labyrinth Wall. So we're playing essentially 7 copies of Labyrinth Wall with terraforming. You really want to get to this card as fast as possible. But the really cool thing about Shadow Ghoul as well is that if you control a Labyrinth Wall and your opponent's monster is attacking, you can banish this and then destroy that monster, which is really nice. So it is battle phase protection for you as well. And then lastly, we're playing 3 Labyrinth Heavy Tank. This card is another level 7 that you could use with Sacred Swords. It's also a level 7 that can just be normal summoned, and then during the main phase, place 1 of these into your spell and trap card zone. So it really speeds up the process to get to your fusion monsters, which is really nice. And then lastly, we're playing 3 Jirai Gumo, the brand new Prey of Jirai Gumo. It's just a monster trap which essentially can summon itself onto the field, but then if your opponent controls a monster in that column, you get to destroy that monster, which is really nice. So it's kind of one of those things where if you set this into one of the extra monster zone slots, because you know your opponent most likely is going to be going into the extra monster zone at one point or another, and you can also really play around it because if you're making your extra deck monsters, you can put it in one extra monster zone and then you can set this in the other one, so as soon as your opponent summons a card there, you can use this, it summons itself, and then it'll be able to pop that card. So it's another form of disruption for you on top of it being a body for you. But on top of that, it has a really cool graveyard effect where you can banish this card from your graveyard and then add a Kazijin, Suijin, or a Sanga that is banished or from your deck to your hand. And again, it's going to be able to recycle your banished pieces over here, which is really nice. So that's why we're playing the 3. It's also really easy to get this to the graveyard. I'll show you guys that later, but it's really, really powerful. And that's really it for the Gate Guardian stuff over here. This is all the new support, I guess, outside of the original 3 monsters, but this is all the new support. These cards are really, really insane. Then for some of the supporting actors in this deck, we are playing 2 Elemental Hero Prisma as well as 3 A Hero Lives. So why are we playing this package? It's because Prisma can count as any one of these names at any point. So that's really, really powerful, because if you're missing a singular name to get to a certain monster, essentially it just covers what anything that you're missing is in the deck, which is really nice. So that's why we're playing this package over here. It gets you into another name without actually having to play a name. And then we're playing 3 Sacred Swords of the 7 Stars. Of course, you can banish your Labyrinth, you can banish your Kazijin, your Suijin, or your Sanga to draw 2 cards. Draw power in this deck is insane, so that's why we're playing this engine over here. And then we're playing the 1 Called by the Grave, of course, to protect you. And to also help speed up the combos, we're playing 3 Fusion Deployment. Essentially, you can reveal any one of these monsters, and then you're going to be able to special summon one of these from your deck, which is really nice because it puts a body on your side of the field. It helps you get into your fusion monsters a little bit faster. So you guys can see, like, you guys have the fusion deployments, you guys have the hero package, you guys obviously have the regular Gate Guardian package. There's so many different ways to get into your Gate Guardian monsters. So for that reason, it's just really consistent. You want to make this deck as consistent as possible, especially with something like Sacred Swords, which is also going to let you draw cards. And another card that's going to let you draw cards is your Magician Souls. So you're always going to be able to be going through your deck. All of these packages are going to essentially help you get to your fusion monsters. So it's really, really powerful to be playing all of these cards. Speaking of Magician Souls, we are playing 2 Magician Souls as well as 1 Illusion of Chaos, and then 3 Preparation of Rites in the main deck. That rounds off the 40 card main deck. So the reason I'm playing the Souls and the Illusion of Chaos is because Souls 1 summons itself for free by sending a spellcaster. So if you need one of your names, let's say you need a Kazijin, you can send a Kazijin. If you guys didn't know, Kazijin is a spellcaster. So it's really nice because if you can start to set up your combo and you're thinking, oh, well, I'm missing a Kazijin, boom, I can send a Kazijin for Magician Souls, get that name in the graveyard. Now I have access to my fusion monsters. But also the really nice thing about Magician Souls is that it can send cards like your Jirai Gumo to the graveyard to get extra draw power, but then Jirai Gumo in the graveyard is going to help you replenish all your brandished monsters. So that's what's really cool, and that's what the really nice synergy is with Souls, because getting this card in the graveyard is really powerful. You get to draw cards, and then you get to use this card's effect to replenish your resources. So it's really nice in that sense. So that's it for the main deck. It is a 40 card main deck, and again, you guys can see we're playing all the key cards, and then we're playing a ton of consistency pieces, which I think is really important. Moving on to the extra deck here, we are playing 3 Gate Guardians combined, 3 Gate Guardian Wind and Water, 1 Gate Guardian Water and Thunder, and then 1 Gate Guardian Thunder and Wind. So I'm going to explain these cards to you guys real quick. This card 3 times per turn can negate an effect that targets a card on your side of the field, which is really nice. It's also 3750 attack. It's absolutely huge. And then all of them share the effect where if they leave the field, you can summon back one of the pieces that were used to make it. So it's really nice because they all float. Wind and Water, like I mentioned earlier, twice per turn can negate a spell or trap card, which is absolutely insane. You have Water and Thunder that can make your opponent's attack 0 during the battle phase, and then you have Thunder and Wind that can search a Gate Guardian spell card from your deck to your hand. It's also going to be able to search your Riryoku, which is nice. Again, if you're trying to go for a game, it's really powerful. So that's why we're playing all of these cards over here. And the reason we're playing multiples of these 2 is because we don't want to get them ripped out from our extra deck by the Koshtar players. So that's why we're playing 3 and 3. There's a reality where you can play 2 and 2, honestly, and then fill the extra deck with a couple more things. Maybe a rank 7 if you want to. That could be another option for you. But I just wanted to play 3 and 3 to show you guys how kind of this deck essentially functions. And then we're playing 2 IP Masquerena, 1 Unicorn, 1 Celine, 1 Axis Code, 1 Anima, as well as 1 Link Karibo. Anima is really cool going second because you can make Magician Souls into Anima to take a card your opponent controls. It's kind of one of those really cool things. These things you don't go into super often, but it does kind of help you when you are playing cards like Souls, Jirai Gumo, which are extra bodies for you, and you can have some end boards that have like an IP plus your regular Gate Guardian setup, or you know, Anima to help you break boards, or if you're going second, you can go into Axis Code to try to OTK. So that's why I like playing these Link monsters over here. And again, you can probably cut Combined and cut Wind and Water to 2 and 2, and then play maybe an Odd Eyes Absolute with an Odd Eyes Vortex, because if you link it away, then it can summon a Vortex. That's another option for you. You can play any other rank 7 monster and then play a Zeus if you wanted to. Different options for you guys. It's not necessarily that you have to be playing these. The reason I decided to max out on them because it was honestly Fusion Deployment. Fusion Deployment does lock you into fusions, so that's why I decided not to put the Xyz monsters, but you guys can definitely do that as well. I'm just giving you guys a ton of different options. But again, I think this deck is really, really cool. I think Konami did a really, really good job retraining this deck and retraining a lot of the cards in here. Of course, it's not going to be a super meta deck, but it's definitely a very fun deck, and I think this is kind of like the right direction for Konami to be going going if they're supporting a lot of these legacy decks. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys all for watching, and thank you guys all for supporting the channel so much recently. I really do appreciate every single one of you. We're on the road to 10,000, and I know we can get there soon. Now, in today's video, we went over Gate Guardian. I told you guys some changes that can be made, how the deck can play, and why this deck can be so consistent in itself. I really think Konami's taking the right step with these kind of cards and how they are approaching legacy support, because they really made it feel like the anime effects of these cards, which I always thought was really cool. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh content just like this one. We upload 5 days a week here on the channel, but we do a full 10 videos per week, 5 long videos, 5 short videos. You guys are gonna get a little bit of everything. So thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And with that, Spanko signing out. Peace.